Ahoy ragamuffins, Jamie here, and welcome to the 4-day beginner knee strengthening program. I made this program because I've been currently doing it with 2 clients, so I figured might as well put it on the subscription. Now, even though this is day 1, you don't have to do these in succession. They do build upon each other slightly, but yeah, just know that you can do them as many times as you want in order to strengthen your knee. Anytime you're having knee pain, arthritis, chronic pain, it messes with your brain. So hopefully you are feeling better as you continue to do these exercises. So the equipment that we're gonna be needing today is I have something for a slider. Depending on what you have on the ground, I have a washcloth here, paper plates work as well, and then a strap. Also use something for support if needed. Our first exercise is we're gonna start with ankle pumps. So I'm gonna sit down in the chair and I'm gonna alternate pumping my ankles. Now I know I didn't say have a chair, but you can also have a chair for support. Ankle pumps are really good to get the blood flowing, to get the body moving as we warm up for these exercises. So I'm kind of tapping my foot down and lifting my foot up. Ankle, focusing on that ankle. All right, the next one we're gonna come into is heel slides. This is the one that I recommend having something for a slider. Now I have a hardwood floor, so a washcloth works well. If you're on carpet, maybe a paper plate, or they do have sliders. We're gonna come out. I have this knee bent for comfortability. We're gonna come out and back in, trying to get that full range of motion with our right leg, bringing our heel all the way to our bottom, bringing it out and all the way back in. You take this at your own pace. I don't recommend going fast. I recommend almost going slower than you would think. All right, now I'm gonna switch sides. We have about 20 seconds to get ourselves situated and switch to the other side. This helps with, you know, if you don't have a bicycle at home to get the joints warmed up, then this is a really great movement for getting those knee joints low impact. You know, we're not jumping or squatting, we're moving here, getting those knees moving. So lifting up and down, breathing, breathing, breathing. If you want, you can have a little bit of a quad set as you come down, meaning you're pressing the back of your leg, back of your knee against the ground, squeezing that. That is gonna be an exercise that we're gonna do here pretty soon though. So keep in mind. And 1. We're gonna come back to the warm-up. We're gonna do one more round of each of these warm-up exercises. I showed the ankle pumps seated. You can also sit on the ground and do them. You just wanna make sure that you have, you have that range of motion to go up and down, up and down. So here, we do it for 30 seconds. You saw that I alternated last time. Maybe I do 1 and 1. Maybe I do 15 seconds on this side, pumping it up, and then maybe I do 15 seconds on the other side. So this is the same exercise that we started with. You can also do some like circles, if that feels good. And again, seated, you're holding and squeezing. All right, we're gonna come right back down to those heel slides. So these are really important for getting that range of motion in the knee. A lot of these exercises are, and I'm just gonna say it, a lot of the other exercises can be boring, but they're really important to strengthen the knee, to get the knee going. So 30 seconds on the right. I've had 2 ACL surgeries. I had an ACL surgery when I was in high school on my left, my right. And then an ACL surgery on my left in college. So I am very familiar with all of these exercises. And yeah, although they can be boring, they are good to strengthen the knee. And sometimes we need boring. You know, we need a little boring in our lives. 20 seconds. All right, coming back, and we're gonna pump. Oh, I'm starting a little bit early, but that's okay. Anytime you wanna do these exercises a little bit longer, please go ahead and do so. And one, pumping. So we're bringing in that knee, and then we're not allowing gravity to like push it back down. We're bringing the knee up and slowly lowering with control. Again, if you want to have a little bit of that quad set when you come back down, go ahead and do so. Squeezing the knee, breathing, breathing, breathing. Good. Up and back, bringing the heel back and down. All right, now we're gonna do, okay, we're back on the ground. We're gonna do our quad sets. So quad sets, I want you to pretend like I have my hand underneath the back of your knee. We're gonna start with the right leg. My left leg is gonna be bent. Pretend I have my hand underneath your kneecap, and you're gonna squeeze the quad. You're gonna try to push your knee down into the ground. Touch the back, and we're gonna hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, release. We're gonna do about 3 to 5 second holds, squeezing, breathing, breathing, breathing. If you're wondering what is in my hands, these are hand warmers. It's very cold today, and for some reason it's really cold in here, so I gotta warm up my hands. And release. All right. We want to make sure that when we do this, we're not bracing, we're not holding our breath, we're not bracing as we're holding. We're breathing through it as we hold for 3 to 5 seconds. So I'm gonna sit back. I have my one knee bent for comfortability. I'm squeezing, pretending like I'm pushing my back of my knee into the ground, squeezing this quad. 3, 2, and 1, release. And squeeze. 3, 2, and 1, release. So the quad is one of those muscles that is above the knee, supports the knee. We want to make sure that those are firing, supporting, and getting that knee joint healthy. We can support it a little bit more. All right, 20 seconds. We're going to come into one more set of those. So like I said, you're holding 3 to 5 seconds. You're breathing throughout. I like to have my foot flexed as I'm doing it. So when I come down, foot is flexed, squeeze. You want to feel a contraction right here on your upper thigh. 2 and 1, release. So I'm getting about 2 and 1. 3 to 5 second holds. And I'm counting a little fast. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. So 3 to 5 seconds as you're breathing. You'll notice a difference too. If you hold for 3 and then you start to hold for 5, you're like, oh, that is 2 seconds of a difference for sure. All right, coming into that other side. Knee is bent, toe is up. We're gonna hold, sorry, a little bit of a neck stretch. We're gonna hold that quad. 2 and 1, squeezing the quad and slowly lowering down. Squeezing the quad, bringing the leg up, breathing and down. So these are, my one client has pretty severe arthritis in her knee, and she doesn't know when she is going to have surgery, so we have been doing these as a precursor. She's got a lot of pain in her knee. And 1. So these strengthening exercises have helped her over the past 6 months. We've been doing a lot of these. All right, so we're gonna start our first exercise. Well, not our first exercise. This is another circuit. We're gonna do calf raises. So I will recommend, if you want something for balance, you don't have to have anything. We're lifting up our leg, but when I do this with a client, I recommend them having a chair. So we're holding on to this for balance, and we're lifting up onto our toes as far as we can, as best as we can, and coming back down. Now we're gonna do this for about 45 seconds. So take your time, coming up, lifting up, feeling the contraction in that calf, breathing, lifting, coming up as far as you can, and Good. Up and back. Good. Calf raises again. We're supporting the musculature around the knee. And one. All right, now we're gonna come into glute bridges. So I'm gonna put this to the side. We're gonna come down on our back, lie down on our back. Knees are gonna be bent. Feet are gonna be flat. We're gonna engage the core, so pubic bone to sternum, and then we're gonna pull up our bottom, lifting our hips towards the ceiling and slowly bring them back down with control. Again, core engaged and lifting up and slowly lowering down. Good. Hold and breathe, breathe, breathe. And back. So making sure that, you know, if it feels okay to have those hands down on the ground, make sure you're not putting too much pressure on your shoulders. It's your hips that are moving up, glutes are squeezing, and coming back down. All right, our third exercise in this circuit is going to be body weight squats. So this is the same thing. You can use anything for support, for balance. I'll show you this with a chair, but obviously, or maybe, you know, you don't have to have a chair. So I'm holding onto the chair for balance, I'm coming down, and what I instruct my clients to is come down into, if you always have pain in your knee, it seems odd for me to say pain-free range of motion. I had one client who said nothing is pain-free for me. So what I tell her is that come down as far as you can tolerate until it turns into a shooting sharp, you know, I can't handle this pain. So one of the clients comes maybe about right here and up. We're just trying to get this movement kind of fluid flowing in her body and down. All right, we're gonna come back into calf raises. So using something for support if that feels good. I'll use this here to show you what this looks like, holding something just a little bit here. The levels of support can vary. You saw me use a chair, I can use a shelf, I can use a pole here, coming down and lift. Lifting up onto the toes and back down. You take a break anytime you need it, okay? So if you're doing this exercise and you need a break, please go ahead and do so. The timer and I, like I say, are just guides. So, excuse me. You're like, did you fart? No, they're like, a little burp. Up and down. Good, coming up, breathing, 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 and down. Lifting up. Here's our last one. And one. Now we're gonna come down to the ground for our glute bridges. Oh, whoa, there's like a big pigeon there. I don't know if you can see. Sorry, I love the birds, you know? Okay, we're gonna come down, feet are flat, knees are bent, core engaged, lifting up, glute bridges, coming up, pulling. I have that core engagement, push through the heels, feel more of the pressure in the heels as I come up to lift my hips up towards the ground, or excuse me, ceiling and back down. Breathing good. And up. And back down. Nice job. Up and squeeze. Holding, holding, holding. Good. Engage, breathing. Nice job. Woo! All right, that last set of glute bridges. Now we're gonna come into the body weight squats. Reminding you that you can always use something for support. Oh, it's still back there. I'm gonna get out of the way just in case you can see it. You wanna enjoy the birds with me. Body weight squats. Maybe not pain-free range of motion, but as much as you can tolerate. coming down and here. Anywhere that you want to put your hands, maybe hands behind head, maybe hands in front, maybe hands are holding on to something for balance. I'm gonna start putting some like food out there for them so I can just get like, see all my bird sightings. Good, coming down and breathing. Come back up. Trying not to hold the breath. Coming down with control and lifting. Nice job, ragamuffins. Trying to feel that pressure, kind of that equal pressure between both. And good. All right, 30 seconds. We're gonna come into the stretch now, kind of the cool down stretch. So we have 2 or 4 stretches that we're gonna do twice. First one is gonna be a hamstring stretch. As you know, I teach this a lot of different ways. Standing, but each is gonna be 45. So if you need something for balance, here's a standing option for a hamstring stretch. If you feel good balance-wise, here's a balance where you can lift it up onto a chair and hinge forward. Seated, I'm showing you them all, but hold for 45. Here, hinging up, squeezing that quad. So remember that quad set that we did earlier? I want you to squeeze that quad so that you get a nice stretch in the back of that leg. And these are static stretches. We're holding for this amount of time, 45 seconds. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Try to lean into the slight discomfort of the stretch. I always say stretches aren't, you don't want them to be painful, but there might be some discomfort. Like shooting pain. Now we're gonna switch. I made a little bit of tea before, so I'm gonna grab a sip of tea and then I'm switching to the other side. So standing hamstring stretch on the left. We're coming down here. I don't know if you can tell, but I did switch legs. This is actually my right foot, but that's okay. Oh, it's like hanging out in the backyard. This is so great. I need to give it a name. Stormy. Okay, hinging here, squeezing. Anytime you involve that ankle or foot, you're squeezing there, you're gonna involve the calf a little bit more. You're gonna get a little bit more of a calf stretch in that piece. Again, if balance feels better, you can come this way. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Nice job. Ooh, stretching. We love the stretching. All right, now we're gonna come into the calf stretch. So a couple different options for the calf stretch. I will sometimes use a weight and kind of step along the weight. I can also use the wall. So option 1, we're holding. If I'm getting my right calf, I'm trying to get into a position where my right foot is flat. And I'm getting a stretch in the back of that lower leg. Now, another option is if I have a weight, I use that middle part of the weight and I'm stepping kind of the ball of my foot on the weight. So it lifts up my whole foot, but my heel is basically still on the ground and I'm holding there. This is the one where I said I would give you an option with the strap. I'll do that with the left foot. I'm kind of running out of time with this one. Breathing through it. So it's important to strengthen the muscles around the knees, and it's important to stretch the muscles around the knees as well. So this, I put about a 20-second transition in each of these. You can absolutely use a little bit more time or take a break anytime. Now we're coming into the left side. So if I'm using the wall, I'm trying to push my foot flat onto the ground. Now this is the one where I use the strap. So if I use the strap for a calf stretch, I'm not gonna put it around my arch. I'm gonna put it around the ball of my foot. And so it's gonna pull my foot forward. You're gonna get a little bit of a hamstring one too, but pulling forward on the ball of your foot, and you can play with it just a little bit. That's gonna get that calf. So couple different options. Hopefully you found one that works for you today. I also have like a calf stretcher. I'll show you that here next time. All right, we're gonna do all of these one more time. Really important to get these stretched out. So we're gonna do the hamstring again, twice, right and left, calf again, and then that'll be our first session. So hamstring stretch, find what worked best for you. Standing, hinging at the hip, toe is up, maybe it was seated. Here, squeezing. Now, I don't think I talked about this much, but knee pain, if you're having chronic knee pain, there's a lot associated with that. Of course, that's physical, but anytime we have any pain, any physical pain, it can mess with us mentally too. It can be draining mentally, it can be exhausting mentally, things that we used to be able to do that now cause pain. So I just wanted to say that because I think it's sometimes we're harder on ourselves, right? Hamstring stretch left. Yeah, it's a lot harder expecting ourselves to be better. There's just a lot of expectations. There's a lot of frustrations with pain. A lot of just mental, emotional stuff too. All right, second round with the hamstring. I remember going through my rehab with the ACLs, and it was, really frustrating. And I've also had some knee stuff recently too. I have some arthritis and stuff like that, which is normal after knee surgeries, but yeah, it's been causing me a lot of pain. I haven't been able to do things that I want to do and used to be able to do and all that stuff. So that can be frustrating as well. So I try to be compassionate with myself. But I will say these exercises help. I do these as well. I warm up on the bike and do all of that almost every day just to get my knee moving and grooving. Calf stretch. Oh, here, I'll show you this one that I have. So this is another one. So I'll bring this in. I usually don't bring this in because that's not. Calf stretch, you can come back here, foot flat. You can be on the weight. You can wrap it around the ball of your foot, or if you have something that's flat. So I recommend maybe not doing it on the edge of a stair, but see how my foot is in full contact with this step? This is actually what it's made for. It is a calf stretch step. But I have also been told that you can get like a, what are those things? Like a garden block. And that is, heavy duty, and that can be substituted for it as well. And you'll notice the different ways in which you hold your foot, that you may get a little bit more of a stretch. All right, last one, calf stretch left. So on the wall, maybe you use the wall for this. Maybe you use the strap. Maybe you're pulling the ball of your foot. Maybe you have something like this. Some people have a step that they prefer to put their ball of their foot on. This is like kind of what the weight is. Or again, you can use the wall and kind of push against the wall with that foot flat. Breathing, 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 good. Just trying to get whatever stretch you feel in that lower leg. However you get that calf stretch. Let's lean into that, no pun intended, being that I'm leaning. And 5 seconds. Oh, our pigeon has left, Stormy has left. Awesome job, Ragamuffins. I hope that you're feeling a little bit better, maybe a little bit of pain relief already today, maybe not, but we'll keep on showing up, and hopefully you will enjoy day 2, 3, and 4. All right, Ragamuffins, remember movement for more, because you were made for more. See y'all next time.